Hello and Assalamualaikum everyone. I am Nur Kasrina Aisyah and together with me, we have Nurliana Nabila, Nasharina Nazrizal and Nur Alia Jazina from Group 2. So today we will be presenting about Article 23 entitled What is Earnings Management? So before I proceed, for those who have taken Ethics and Governance class before, if you guys remember, we actually have learned about this topic where earnings management means that the action of the management where they manipulated the financial statement in order for them to make the statement more favorable, especially to shareholders and also stakeholders, so that they can attract them to invest more and they can actually receive their preferred outcome. However, this article defined earnings management as a reasonable and legal management decision-making and also reporting with the intention to achieve a stable and predictable financial statement. So it can be classified into two types, which is the first one legal and the second one is illegal. Basically, a company's earning has a direct relationship with their value. For instance, if the earnings increases, it shows that the value also increases. However, if it decreases, it means that the value of the company also decreases. Moving on to the second part of our presentation, which is how widespread is the earnings management in the country. So according to research, most of the firms, which is 8 to 12%, actually reported an increase of earnings instead of decrease, while another 30 to 44% actually reported a profit instead of losses. So this can easily concluded that most of the firms actually use earnings management in order for them to report a steady growth as well as an increase of profit instead of loss. As an example, a famous American company which is General Electric has achieved a total earnings of 10.7 billion US dollar in year 2000. And what's more interesting is that they managed to receive 482% total return within 5 years. So after the company has been investigated, the company actually has implemented an earnings management, but it is a legal one where it is within the stipulated regulation and law. And as a result, they managed to achieve 100 consecutive quarters of increased earnings. This means that within 25 years of their business, they have never reported of any decrease of earnings. Moving on, the third part of the article is where it discusses on the ways the management can achieve earnings management. So the first one is through GAAP accounting choice and the second one is through management operating decision. As the first one, there are two choices where the first one, management can actually choose to voluntarily become an early adopter of new standards, while the second one is that they can wait for another 2 years until the standard is required to be implemented for all companies. Then only they can actually do the earnings management. For the second one, it is an attempt of the management to manage the cash flow such as the revenue and also the expenses. So one of the example is that the management must actually decide whether they need to hire more employees in order for them to work and also to be more organized. And the second one is through buying new equipment so that they can increase the productivity. I guess that's all for my part. Now I'll pass to Liana to continue with our presentation. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nurliana Nabila and now I'll proceed with the second part of our presentation today, which is the effect of accounting choices. So from the article, it is stated that management accounting choices will affect the GAAP or generally accepted accounting principle. And this also means that when this affect the GAAP, it will be recorded in the accounting system and presented in the net income or in the statement of comprehensive income. And this article also discuss about the benefit to shareholder and the earnings management benefit to shareholder. So the first criticism of earning management here is the reduced transparency. Reduced transparency means that the earnings that is being presented is not at the true amount, which also means that the earnings presented is hiding the true amount and is presented at the false amount, which will benefit the shareholder to see the favor of the accounting statement. And the next one is the conveying information or concealing information. There's academics who argue about convey information and conceal information on the earnings management, but both are acceptable in this part, and which also means that it will lead to the information asymmetry where management knows more than the shareholder. Furthermore, in this article, there is 3 headings of news that accept the terms of misrepresentation or the earnings management. This is because the author of this Headings article believe that earnings management will convey the potential widespread of benefits, which will spread the benefit of the company, that the company is good and that will attract more investors. But from the point of view of the author from this article, he or she does not agree with the terms of misrepresentation and the earnings management. From her point of view, there is no means of legal earnings management because he believes that the managers are intentionally try to cheat the investor and just presenting the favorable view of the accounting statement. So, for further discussion about earnings management, now we will look at the terms of true earnings. True earnings can be recorded by default or by active choices. So, GAAP permits accounting choices to facilitate earnings management. As I said just now, the flow chart where management accounting choices will affect the GAAP and will be recorded in the net income, right? And here, many parties will get the benefit from active earnings management, such as the shareholders, where shareholders can get more favorable view of the income statement, and the management also can get good reputation as they are presenting the earnings that is good for the company when they do the earnings management.
Hello, my name is Nasharina and I'll be continuing this presentation. So firstly, earnings management activities may occur because managers have flexibility in making accounting or operating choices, or because managers are trying to convey private information to financial statement users. For flexible accounting, companies may adopt a depreciable life that gives a lower depreciation expense in the earliest, which can maximize reported earnings for future periods. On the other hand, for private information, companies may adopt a depreciable life for a new computer chip plant that is substantially lower than industry norms. The motive here is to give stakeholders information not otherwise available so that they can adjust their expectations appropriately. Next is accounting choices. Accounting choices should be made within the framework of Generally Accepted Accounting Principles, or GAAP. GAAP are the set of rules, practices, and conventions that describe what is acceptable financial reporting for external stakeholders. The main source of GAAP for public companies are the Financial Accounting Statements, FAS, of the FASB. A single, normal, everyday accounting choice may be either legal or illegal. The difference between a legal and an illegal accounting choice is often merely the degree to which the choice is carried out. The problem with many accounting choices is that there is no clear posted limit beyond which a choice is obviously illegal. Thus, a perfectly routine accounting decision, such as expense estimation, may be illegal if the estimated amount is extreme, but perfectly legal if it is reasonable. Moving on to the fraud issue. Financial fraud has been defined by the National Association of Certified Fraud Examiners as the intentional, deliberate misstatement or omission of material facts or accounting data which is misleading and, when considered with all the information made available, would cause the reader to change or alter his or her judgment or decision. Fraud clearly violates GAAP, as GAAP-based accounting is supposed to reflect, not distort or obscure, true economic performance. GAAP may also be violated by actions that do not sink to fraud, such as overly aggressive accounting, because that may distort or obscure the true economic performance of a business. That's all from me. Next, I'll pass the presentation to Alia.
Thank you, Rasha. Hi everyone, my name is Alia and I will continue with the next part, which is the health of example. As you can see here, a picture of the man on the left. His name is Richard Scritchy, which is the CEO of HealthSoft Corporation. He started a company with $1 million as a capital and turned the company into a multi-billion-dollar hospital chain. Things becomes complicated in the year of 1997 when the Congress slashed medical reimbursement to the hospitals. They predict that the economies of scales of this major hospital will fail to materialize. However, the financial report of HealthSoft corporations shows otherwise, where they managed to survive by improving operating efficiency and cutting the costs. It later appeared that the reported earnings were not accurate as there is a huge discrepancy between the profit and sales. The company's sales rose only 3% in the year of 1999 and in the year of 2000, but their operating earnings have soared around 143%, which is an insanely huge gap, and it is totally suspicious, right? Thus, the Securities Exchange Commissions have accused Crassus of cooking his book to inflate the profit by $1.4 billion since the year of 1999. However, he denied the charges at first, but later he was fired at the end of the March. Besides that, a key element in financial fraud is intent to deceive. Fraud is usually carried out for personal gain, no matter it could be due to their intent to have a higher bonus or to maintain their career path as long as it could bring more benefit to them. Thus, there are variety of state and federal laws that deals with the fraud, and the strictest laws are the Federal Securities Statutes 1933 and 1934 Securities and Exchange Commissions Act. So it gives power to them over the financial market and the financial reporting. For instance, by making it compulsory for the companies in US to follow the accounting standard in generating their annual report and financial statements. So these are the examples of the fraud activities such as recording fictitious sales, fail to properly record the expenses, or even overvaluing the assets. So these fraud activities will be reflecting in the financial statements. Moving on to the Sarbanes-Oxley Act 2002. It is a United States federal law that mandates certain practices in financial record keeping and reporting for the corporations. The law was enacted as a reaction to a number of large failures of major companies such as Enron and WorldCom that technically involved in allegations of fraud. So these scandals have created negative publicity and the loss of confidence in the financial market. Therefore, this law was passed to remedy the perceived deficiencies in the financial reporting. I think that's all from us. Thank you and have a great day.